Today's video is a very simple guide for writers who want to know where to get started when writing a book. My 5 steps to get yourself published are, at this stage, just pointers, and I will be going into each step in greater detail in later videos. So let's get started. Step 1. Write the book. Of course, this is the obvious one, but getting that story down and finishing it is always a lot harder than you think. The key to this is planning, plotting the story. Even if you don't want a detailed plot line in the beginning, you need at least a good outline, know where it's going. It's essential to have a good beginning, middle and end to your book. There are many blogs and books that can tell you how to write a story. Look at books you like reading and see how the story starts, where it peaks and how it finishes off. A good book always makes you want more. Give that to the reader. Finding time to write can be a big problem for many. With work or family commitments, it really isn't easy. But sometimes you just have to say to people, this is the day or time I'm going to write, and hopefully they'll respect that. Choose a nice area to work in. There are many writers who can write anywhere. J.K. Rowling, for instance, could write in a busy cafe while her baby daughter slept in a pram. But for others who need solitude when writing, find your favourite spot, whether it be in your garden or a shed, the park or a peaceful place in your home. I myself do most of my writing in my bedroom, near a window with some instrumental music on, usually film scores. But I've been known to jot down a few notes while out in public. Some people say and do the most fascinating things, and inserting these characteristics into the characters into your book will certainly bring them alive. Step 2. Editing and proofreading. This is so important to get right. It's the difference between a really good book and a mediocre one. Bad grammar and mistakes can destroy it, and even if you've written the best story in the world, the reader will soon be put off by the unprofessionalism of the book and usually stop reading, or worse, as I painfully found out, give you a bad review. Always get a professional to read your manuscript, and don't just rely on spell check and Grammarly. An expert will usually spot all the mistakes, and depending if you're paying for editing rather than just proofreading, give you advice on sentence structures, etc. Step 3. Design your front and back cover. If you cannot do it yourself, get in the experts. There are many great artists on the internet. It's really just a case of browsing through them and looking at their style. You'll know when you like something and it fits well with your book. Although the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover, people do still tend to do this, and so your cover has to be eye-catching and professional looking. After all, this is your first marketing tool. Grabbing the reader's attention among the sea of books is of course a great advantage. Step 4. Choose a self-publishing company. This is by far probably the most trickiest. Over the years of self-publishing, I have made numerous mistakes, and it really is a case of trial and error. You are the one that knows what your book needs, how you want it to look, and you are the one that should make all the decisions. You are the boss. Having said that, it is always good to take advice from those who are in the know. A good tip to remember here is if the person you are asking have nothing to gain by you, then their knowledge is usually genuine and very useful. Other self-published authors are a great way of gaining advice. However, some just don't like to let you in on their secrets. You'll soon find out who is helpful. There are many self-publishing companies around on the web, and there are many who charge a small fortune to publish your books. Just weigh up the pros and cons and know exactly what you're getting for your money. Many will offer editing services and proofreading, book cover designs, interior layouts. These are all important if you cannot do it yourself. Make sure you know how much royalties they are going to give you, and what percentage they are taking for themselves. Step 5. Market your book, building a platform. Personally, I find this the most challenging. Promoting your book is not only time-consuming, but sometimes expensive. Getting your book out there without a team of people behind you is a hard task. However, there are things you can do that won't cost you money, only your time. Social networks such as Facebook, setting up a book author page, Twitter and YouTube are good ways to advertise your book, events coming up and where it can be purchased. Start a blog. This really does help readers to see behind the scenes, so to speak, and by doing so will help build up a fan base. Online communities and forums such as Goodreads, some Facebook writing groups and Kindle groups chats are just some ways of interacting with not only potential readers but getting some invaluable advice from other authors. Media promoting can sound quite daunting, but it is a great way to reach an audience around your local area, local papers, radio and guest blogging. Helping people with advice are really good ways to tell people about your books. Events such as book signing, hiring tables at events, school visits, book clubs and workshops helps you to socialise and get out to meet and greet people. If people see you and your book in the flesh, they are more likely to buy it, or at the very least draw some attention. It gives them a chance to ask you, the author, all about you and your book, which will usually help them decide whether your book is for them or not. Don't be offended if it isn't. Everyone has different tastes and not all genres are for them. From one creative writer to the next, I wish you all the success you deserve. Remember, creating stories is a craft largely undermined by those who have never tried it. There is a lot of work that goes into this skill, and just sometimes there are those that come along who appreciate everything that you do. This is when your heart fills with pride and it all feels worthwhile. For any further advice, I will only be too happy to give if I can, and you can always find me on the links below. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos that go into more depth each step. Bye for now.